and this is a standalone expansion to the game FlickFleet that adds 2 new alien races, and you can combine this with the original game in order to play with up to 4 players. And if you're not familiar with how FlickFleet plays, this is a game where you're going to be choosing a scenario, and these can be asymmetric scenarios where one player might have a different set of ships than the other, or even start with different ships out on the board while the other might have to actually deploy theirs. But players are going to be essentially flicking their ships into position and then flicking dice off of their ships in order to damage the systems of their opponent's fleet. All the ships are quite a lot different from each other, and they all have some different actions that they can provide, and they all have some different specialties, with some ships even being able to carry other ships. Each of these ships is going to come accompanied with a board with a number of discs that go on each of the sections of your ship, and the discs also represent the health in that area. As you take damage on the different areas of your ships, you're going to remove those discs, and then if all the discs are depleted, you can no longer use that action. And players are going to be able to perform up to 2 actions on their turn, and like I said, there's a lot of different actions that you can perform depending on the ships that you have, but the main 2 actions are moving and attacking. And in order to move, you're going to be flicking your ship in a direction out on the board, and in order to attack, you're going to be flicking dice from your ship and trying to hit other ships. In order for a hit to be successful, you have to hit the ship and then have your die not go off the board, but you have to be careful here because you can also hit your own ships. But all is not lost if you do take damage, because some of the ships do have engineering, which you can perform in order to add more discs to the other areas of your ship, essentially healing those areas. And in order to win the game, players are going to be trying to destroy all their opponent's fleets. And like I said, this expansion is going to be adding 2 new alien fleets that players can play as, and each is going to contain different drones, bombers, and capital ships, as well as a range of scenarios and battles for players to explore. And the first fleet is the Storm Fleet, and this is a high-tech alien species with fast, highly maneuverable ships and powerful weapons. The only downside with this one is that their ships are very fragile once you get their shields down. And the other fleet is known as the Hive, and this is an organic fleet of ships that have no shields at all, but they do heal rapidly, and they also spit out a constant stream of parasites that can take over opponent ships from the inside. This is a really fun dexterity game, and if this one does interest you, you can find links to this and all the other campaigns in the description below.